A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about the effect of Rahu, transit effect of Rahu in Pisces, especially in Revati Nakshatra for all Lagnas, as you all had so lovingly requested. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments and your suggestions there. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do, and do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. Many of you have written, and thank you for your suggestion, for your comment, and here I present before you, as I had said in my last video on Revati and Rahu, transit of Rahu and Revati. So, how does it affect us? As I had said, Revati is not a nakshatra, Rahu is, or Pisces is not a sign, Rahu is very comfortable in. But as Rahu moves in Revati, it brings us a lot of opportunities for learning and guiding. Rahu likes to work alone, and here it has to learn to guide. Whom to guide, what to do. So let's begin with the Lagna of Aries. For the Aries Lagna people, Rahu is moved into your 12th house, and that too Revati. Let's talk about a couple of things. You will have to learn to guide people. Guide whom? Foreigners. You will have to learn to guide and let people be. You do not have to push them to do certain things your manner only, because Aries is a sign of the leader, of the boss, and Rahu does not like pushing. Revati is your work force where you just need to lead and leave. And then it also is, whenever Rahu transits over your 12th house, 12th lord, or in your 12th house, you need to be very careful about any discretion, any cheating, any physical abuse through others, violations. So this is a period one needs to be very, very careful about. Don't let anybody do anything hanky-panky to you, and be very careful about it. When Rahu is travelling through the Revati Nakshatra for you, it is also a time to dig deeper and learn the way to speak, because that is the only way where we can guide. Learn something new in terms of spirituality, because the 12th house is also spiritual, and so Rahu, which is a planet of materialism, also shows an innate nature of helping you cross from materialism to spirituality. So, it is a good time for you to foray into something which is different. It could be of the different cultures also. Let us move in for the Taurus Lagna. Rahu is known to do excellent in the 11th house. It is in the Upchaya Bhav, 3, 6, 10, 11, Rahu gives good results. So, you have money coming in from foreign shores. You can be also teaching people, learning new things of foreign areas and establishments, which can give you a lot of money. But here you do not need to be so involved in making that money that you forget about your health issues. Rahu in the 11th house does much good in terms of giving you some income in form of a fixed income, but as it is also, and in fact it is primarily a Krur Graha, it can give you health issues. Whenever you are making some investments that will give you a recurring amount every month or every 6 months, be very assured who is saying that to you, and are you being led down the garden path. It is very important to understand that aspect. You can meet and make friends with people in an entirely new culture and with a lot of societies that do not fall under your regular pattern of clubs, societies, people and friends, and you can learn a lot from them too. You can be on a discovery of different type of people, and this is your great time to travel to foreign shores. Let us move to the Gemini Lagna. For the Gemini Lagna people, Rahu is in the 10th house, and 10th house is a good place. So if you are looking for work, if you are looking for change in job, again that's a good time to begin. And you can look for those who are wanting to go abroad in search of job, there is nothing better than this. For the Gemini Lagna people, Ketu is also coming in your 4th house. So it could mean that you could be traveling to and fro to foreign locales in terms of jobs, and then be coming back home, because wherever Ketu sits, it gives a person a need to come back time and time again. As Rahu is passing through Revati, Ketu is also passing through Chitra and can make you highly irritable, and it can also give you a sense of my home, this is my territory. So better not be too territorial about your home, give space to everybody around, and this ways you focus more on your work, on your career rather than home, and you will prosper, because wherever that Rahu transits, that is the area you need to work on. Wherever Ketu sits is an area you are already very proficient in. Let's talk about the Cancer Lagna. For the Cancer Lagna, Rahu is in your 9th house. Rahu in the 9th house shows air travels. It will show a change. 9th house is a change in your work. So there is a change coming for you big time in your workplace. And you have to learn to accommodate that change, because that change will bring in with it new directions that you can, new learnings that you can have, and new set of people whom you can direct in your workplace. Rahu brings in a lot of materialism, and then again there is a foreign connect. So this change will happen for you in a foreign locale also. When I talk about foreign, many a times we can only associate with countries which are outside of India. It need not be so. You can associate it with states within India which are diametrically opposite in their behavior. For example, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu, the culture is diametrically opposite. So if you are living in Tamil Nadu, then you can associate with a person living in Rajasthan and do a lot of good work for it, or vice versa. Again, this is a time when you need to take care of your mother's health. This is also a time when you can start off on a new tangent with a parent. However, as we go down where Rahu and Saturn would be meeting in the sign of Pisces only, in Purva Bhadra, the story may take a different turn. So there you have to be careful. But now it's a period when things can start on a different tangent with a parent also. You can learn to guide, or you can learn a lot from your parent and can be guided. So this much for the Cancer Lagna. Now let's move on for the Leo Lagna. For Leo Lagna, Rahu transits through the 8th house. The 8th house is a house of sudden happenings, and most of these happenings, just when Rahu is in the 8th house, just happen out of the blue. It is also about money. 8th house is unaccounted money. So you have to be very sure of your unaccounted money, or the money that you have, so that you are not cheated out of it, because Rahu does show an cheating behavior also. And it also shows an interest to move into a different sort of learning. You might have opportunities coming your way, but you have to be very careful about these opportunities and have to see whether these opportunities come with a disclaimer which is written in fine print and you cannot understand that. That's very important. And as far as health is concerned, be very careful with your health issues, because Rahu in the 8th house can give unnecessary tensions which can create problems, recurring problems with health. Rahu in the 8th house, transit or otherwise, has its negative effects more than the positive effects. Let's talk about the Virgo Lagna. For the Virgo Lagna people, Ketu is sitting in your Lagna and Rahu is sitting again in your 7th house. So a change in the relationship on a public platform is a possibility. Again, as I said, directing a new set of people at least for the next 6 to 7 months is something that you can well understand in your chart. Then again, it is a time that you need to maintain some time for your solitude, do a little bit of self introspection, that is what you are capable of, and with Rahu returning to its Lagna, you would want to do it more and more. Studying something to put it on a platform, what should I say, a public platform is something that you can aim for here to take away the negative effects of Rahu that is transversing through your 7th house. And as Ketu moves over your Lagna, it makes you more fixed in your attitude, more disciplined and more of a workaholic person, because Ketu narrows down your abilities to just where it is sitting. All this is a possibility. Let's look at the Libra Lagna people. For the Libra Lagna people, it is a time when you have to be very cautious of your marital status, because Rahu has moved into your 6th house, whereas Ketu has moved into your 12th house. 12th house is a house of release, and Ketu in the 12th house gives you a release from the worldly habits, worldly relationships. And that release can come through Rahu in the 6th house, where you can be fighting with your spouse, where you or your spouse would be wanting to direct each other, and as Rahu always does, not wanting to learn how to work with each other. So this is an area where you need to be very careful about. Also, the 6th house is a house of job. So this is the time when you may feel discontent with your work. Whenever work is concerned, we always, or there is a change in job or is a change in profile in your job, can also be seen. If you are planning a baby, second baby, now is not the very correct time to do so. Please wait for a year more. Now, let's talk about the Scorpio Lagna. For the Scorpio Lagna people, it's an important time to focus on the higher learnings and teachings. It is developing a new method to teach people new things. So you have to move out of your comfort zone and you have to prepare things that you can teach people on a new platform, teach new things to people. It is also a time when you need to inculcate certain habits in your children. But please don't do it through unfair means, through scolding those children or being rude or mean to them, because Rahu can instill fear. So instilling fear in your child is not going to be in your favor on the long run. It can be doing things which are out of the box, imparting things through examples, imparting things while talking and doing and showing, which are very different ways to actually work with children. And then you will have a bond which is very different from the rest. The 5th house also talks about big money and investments. When Rahu is transiting the sign of Pisces and through Revati, you should be very careful by whom you are being guided to make those investments. Be very, very clear about the kind of investment you may want to do, where you want to put in your money, and that will safeguard your bank balance. As Ketu is in your 11th house, you would want to narrow down your circle of friends or your contacts and would want to go be in your own shell. It is advisable to focus more on getting more people on board, because Rahu is a lesson you need to learn. You need to increase your viability, your visibility on a public platform on a scale, rather than putting yourself away from the public domain. Let's talk about the Sagittarius Lagna. For the Sagittarius Lagna, Rahu is in the 4th house. A change in the home, some amount of change if you do at home, some directional change that you do at home will help you utilize the Rahu energy in the 4th house, or it would force you to do certain basic learnings from a very growth. It could be as basic as learning how to work on your computer, PowerPoint, Excel, whatever that it is, or it can create some problems with the health issues of people in the family. Your parent could also, mother in specific, can also, or for that matter, your father could also be undergoing some chronic issue that you need to take care of. The 4th house is the house of your happiness, it's the house of your peace. With Rahu moving there, your peace can be literally disturbed, it can be real up and down. To get back to a frame, I would suggest do pranayama. Be on an even kneel and it will help you. Okay? And because the 4th house is also the house of banks, don't be in a hurry to switch banks at this point in time. Wait for another 1.5 to 2 years before you make that kind of change. Taking home loans, be very careful, read the disclaimer, read the papers very carefully before you take any home loan. Now let's talk about the effect of Rahu for the Capricorn Lagna. For the Capricorn Lagna, it is in the 3rd house. The 3rd house is the house of changes. And as I've always maintained, 3rd house can be a house of change as far as the change that we bring in into our life. The anomaly here is that this Rahu, when it moves over the 3rd house, it will force you to change, to think, to do rash things which you haven't thought about for a long period of time. Just on a flick second you would want to take a quick call. Whenever that happens, please wait. Allow that rashness to pass over you and then take a call. There will be change in the circle of friends that you are with. There will be a change in your habits. There will be a change in the way you portray things, you present things to society in general, and that's a good change. But again, don't allow it to happen overnight. Gradually move into it in a very conscious manner and you will be able to distinguish those changes very clearly within you. Let's talk about the Aquarius Lagna. For the Aquarius Lagna people, it's Rahu in the 2nd house, and the 2nd house talks about your speech. It talks about learnings and it talks about family members. There can be new additions in the family. You could adopt a foreign person in the family. You can have people around you whom you consider more as family, and you could be facing issues, family members only or ladies whom you consider to be in the genre of mother. Again, there is another side to it, is that you could be getting a lot of wealth from foreign areas, foreign shores. And another point that you need to understand is it's important to learn a new language, a new study, a new form to be able to do good in life. Finally, last but not the least is the Pisces Lagna. Rahu in Lagna, a very different outcome altogether. Whenever Rahu moves over the Lagna, it brings in a lot of changes, and if you accept those changes, here in this case it is all about new learnings. It's passing through Revati. Learn not to throw any brickbats at those newness that is coming in your life. Learn to accept, adopt, and then move ahead. You will be able to do a great job for yourself. Rahu in the Lagna, and that too in Pisces, opens up new business opportunities for you abroad. It will bring in new methods of seeing things and you will be interested in different cultures, which will open your eyes wide to other people, to other circumstances, and you will be a different person by the time this Rahu passes through Pisces, moves into your 12th house. And we'll meet again when Rahu moves in a different nakshatra, in a different sign. Till we meet with you again,
hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.